Before I bring up PSX, I just want to show you quickly what my setup looks like, and that'll be important for you when you see how PSX starts to load up. Basically, I've got this main screen, and then I've got two smaller monitors on either side. And when I load PSX, you're going to see part of it on here. What you'll see is the bit on here, but on this screen I will have another part of PSX, and I'll explain that so that you can see what my setup looks like. So let's get rid of that and let's start PSX. Okay, here it comes. And that's how long it takes for PSX to load. This is actually set up at Heathrow's 27 left, and it's set up for a manual circuit, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm going to do is change this very quickly into a turnaround state where we're on the ground with the IRSs aligned, and there we go. So now we're in a turnaround state, and I'm yeah, that'll do. We're in a turnaround state. And I'm going to start by showing you the fundamentals of how PSX, how you view the cockpit within PSX. This is the instructor screen. This is basically where you change everything and where you control everything about the setup and the situation that you're going to fly. So I'm going to go to a tab here that just says layout, and I'm going to load a basic pack like that, and I just want to change the model, because here we've got a freighter. I can't see out of the window because the nose of the freighter is up. So let's change this and load a British Airways passenger aircraft. There we go. So now we've got a British Airways passenger aircraft, and if we look here we can see which one it is. It's Golf Bravo November Lima Alpha. So that's the aircraft that we're sitting in now. And the situation is that we're on the ground with the IRSs aligned, but nothing else. So this is in a turnaround state. And so I'm going to just go through how this is all set up. I'm going to start by going to something called layout. The screen that you're looking at here is actually 4 sections, and I can move them around. There's that one, there's this one, and there's this one on the bottom. And each of those is looking at a different part of the cockpit. Now I've moved those around a little bit, but if I press the 0 on the numpad, I get back to where I originally was. Now within each of these boxes, frames, if I right click with my mouse, I can zoom in and out, and I can move. Now if I just want to have that very big for some reason, I don't know why I would, but you can have the PFD just dominating like that. Don't like it, press the 0 and you go back. Move this one to the left, don't like it, 0 and back. So you can configure every frame for a particular part of the flight. This particular frame is for takeoff and landing. A view out of the window. You've got the power throttle quadrant here. You've got your upper ICAS for the engine settings, and then you've got the ND and you've got the PFD, and then up here you've got the MFD and the EFIS control panel here. So with this you can do the takeoff and the landing, and you've got a large PFD so that you can see the pitch angle very clearly, and then you can see the altitude and you can see the speed very clearly, and the enunciators at the top here. And then in cruise you've got one of the FMCs and everything else that's available in cruise. So you can, if you want to see what the fuel situation is, you've got the lower ICAS up here, and you've got all the controls that you need. So this is basically what you need in cruise. And then you've got comms, so you've got the radios, you've got the two FMCs, you've got the ICAS here. Now, and the example here, you don't have the buttons to change the lower ICAS, but if I click and go to the right, here they are. So I can blank it, or I can go to the stat page, or I can go to the engine page. I don't like that, and then just put it back to where it was. Then I've got the left seat panorama, the right seat panorama. Then this one, the overview, very interesting because this is the whole cockpit. This is the PSX cockpit. You've got the fuse panel here. I think it's called the P6 fuse panel. And in this model, every single one of those fuses works. So how Hardy ever programmed that, I have no idea. But each of those fuses, when they pop, the system that they're supporting pops too. So here you've got the lower pedestal, you've got the throttle quadrant, you've got the FMCs and the lower ICAS, you've got the main panel, and then if you go up here, you've got the overhead. You've got the upper overhead and the lower overhead. There is no in-op on any of these buttons. Every single one of them works. I can't emphasize that strongly enough. And then the final layout is the far overhead and the main overhead. And in this particular setup for the main overhead, you've got access to the controls for the lower ICAS. You've also got an FMC, so you can actually, when you're changing things here, for instance, if you're making adjustments to the fuel, if you want to watch what those adjustments are doing, you can easily do so. Of course, this is not going to do anything because we're not powered up. But so that's basically the way that the layouts work.